Hello and welcome you all in this channel of Smt.R.S.Kalaria YouTube. Now here we will be studying about Science NCERT Chapter number 1 Standard 8. The name of the chapter is Crop Production and Management. First of all, let me show you something. What are these things? These things are pens which are being used by a student and a teacher. It means that it is a tool for student and teachers. Now tell me something about the sickle, khurpi and all these things. Yes, they are being used by the farmers. They are the instrument or the tools which are being utilized by the farmers in the field and the farms. So we have a question in our mind. Why do we need to have the food? What is the requirement that we have to depend on the crops or the food? We know that the food is being prepared by the plants by the method of photosynthesis, which we cannot do. So we need to depend on them. Now here is the question that why we require the food then? The food is required in our body whether we are standing or we are writing or we are sleeping. For the systems which is present in our body will be utilizing these energies which are inhaled in us as a food. So let's have a study about these things. Now first point that comes is the agricultural practices. What are these agricultural practices? Now for that we need to have a glance on the topic that why we started with the agriculture. What are the methods by which we came on this field? In 10,000 BCs, till that people were nomadic. Now what is this word nomadic called? Nomadic means the people who were roaming from one place to another in search of the shelter and the food. They were not knowing that we can grow the crops in one place and after the change of the season we can change the crops also. But after some time they came into existence that yes, we can grow the crop at one place and survive at one place only because we can have the shelter also and the food also. Now these people have started growing the crops at one place. They started developing them slowly and slowly, and thus they have started with the word that is came into existence is the agriculture. Now what is this agriculture actually doing? Agriculture is having the crops in the field. Now what is this crop? A crop means the plants of the same kind are cultivated at one place on a large scale. Here we have to point down three words in this. Means plants of the same kind cultivated at one place and on a large scale is to be pointed out. Means the plants which will be of the same kind. If it is a groundnut, it will be the groundnut only in the whole field. Then one place means it should be a huge farm. It should not be in the small places at different areas. It should be on a large scale. Means it should be covering the whole of the portion. It should be grown in a big quantity. So that will be known as the crop. Means here we have again a glance. Plants of the same kind cultivated at one place on a large scale means it is a crop. Now according to the environment of the India, we have three seasons, summer, winter and monsoon. Depending on that, we have two types of the cropping system in India. These two types are Kharif crop and Rabi crop. Now Kharif is the crop that is being sown or grown in the rainy season. Rainy season means we have the month durations from June to September. The examples of these Kharif crops are paddy, maize, soyabean, groundnut, cotton, etc. So these are the things which are grown in the Kharif cropping, means in the rainy season time duration. Now here comes with the Rabi crop. What are these Rabi crops? They are sown in the winter season. That means they are sown in the month of the October to March. Now the examples are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, linseed, etc. So these are the two types of the cropping system that we have studied in India. Now cultivation of the crops will be having several activities inside it, which you people also carry when you are growing the ornamental plants at your home. means you are growing the money plant, you are growing some flowering plants. So these activities are also being done by you people, but the difference is the farmers do it in a large amount and a huge amount it is being done, but in our houses it is being done in the small amount. Let's have a look at these steps. Now here the basic agricultural practices of the crop productions are, the first one says preparation of soil. Now first of all, when we are growing something, we need to have the advanced development in that. Now what we have to do for that? We need to check out the soil is okay to develop that. So let's find out what is there in the preparation of the soil. Then the next step that comes is sowing. The third one that comes is adding manure and fertilizers to it. The next one is the irrigation. The next that comes is the protection from the weeds. The next is harvesting, and the last one is the storage. So let's have a glance on these step-by-step activities. So when we are doing this preparation of the soil, we need to look out that what is the reason behind it. Now there are 3 points or 3 aspects behind it. The first one is, if we will loosen the soil, we will have the penetration of the roots deep into the soil very nicely. The second thing is the microbes, which are the friends with the farmers, that is the earthworms, will be developing very nicely when it is plowed. The third thing that comes here is that these things will be having some of the centimeters of the soil will possess a nutrient rich portion. Now if it is used by one of the crop, it will be completely exhausted. For that we need to turn the soil again, so that again there will be nutrition rich soil coming over here. Okay, so these are the purposes for that. Now what is the definition that says the preparation of the soil? Now that is called plowing or tilling. In this plowing or tilling means the turning or loosening of the soil is called the plowing or tilling. Now big clumps of the soil, that is called the crumbs, are to be broken down. Why to be broken down? Because it will make the ease in the development of the crops, for leveling them, for irrigation and for the manuring also. So this is the important process that is to be taken when we are having the crops in the field. Now here we come with the agricultural implements. Means what? The tools which are used for having the crops to be grown in the field. The word that comes, plow, hoe and the cultivator. These are the 3 instruments. Now the first one that comes is the plow. Plow was being used since ancient times because it is very easy to use. Now what are the purposes for the plow to be used? We can use the plow for 3 matters, that is tilling also, that is the plowing system. Then to take out the weeds, means to removing the weeds from the farms. And the third thing is for adding the fertilizers in the farms. For these 3 purposes we can use this plow. Now how this plow is made? Normally it is made with the wood only, but there is a triangular shaped metal which is called the plow share, and there is a huge log which is attached with this, that is known as plow shaft. Now the next tool that comes with it is the hoe. Now hoe is the material is used over here is completely metal. It will be having a metal plate which will be digging into the field and which will be helping in the plowing. What are the uses of this hoe? We have removing of the weeds being done by the hoe, and we have the loosening of the soil, that is called the plowing, also being done with the hoe itself. The next and the last, that latest one that comes is the cultivator. Nowadays people used to have this only. Why? Because cultivator is being used, that is being drawn by the tractor. So there is no requirement of the ox or other human beings to be carried out for the cultivator. Whereas for the plow and the hoe, we required some of the animals, that is the pair of the bull or the hoe or the oxes, that can be turned into the working of the plow or the hoe in the field. But the cultivator is the best one and updated one. Next that comes here is the topic, that is sowing. Now for sowing purpose, first of all we need to find out the best seed to be grown in the farms. For that we need to have a process, because every seed is not good enough to be sown and not good enough to be cropped into the farm. But we have a process. Now selection of the seeds. Here is a short video which will tell you that how we can find out these best seeds from the huge number of the seeds.
Best seed for sowing. Here I have taken water in a container and I have taken gram seeds. Now I am going to pour these gram seeds in the water in this bowl. So let's check out what will happen. You can see here, there are some of these seeds floating on the water. The one which are floating in the water will not be considered to be the good one, but the one which have sink in the water will be considered to be the nice one or the best seeds you can say for sowing in the field. This experiment is done in the farming for having the best seeds.
As you have seen that the seeds which are floating will not be considered to be the good one to be sown in the field. Now the sinking seeds are to be taken and to be cultivated in the farms. Now the second step that comes is the traditional tool, means the tools by which we can have the seeds in the farms to be grown. There are two tools to be utilized. First one is traditional tool, the second one is the seed drill. Let's look in the traditional tool. Traditional tool itself says it is the one which is used in ancient times. Now what was there in the traditional tool which is different from the seed drill? Let's have a look at its construction. It is constructed something like this. It possesses a funnel like structure. This is a funnel like structure from where we have to pour the seeds inside it. These seeds will be going through pipes in the different portions of these instrument where they will be sown directly into the farms in the lines. So this is what the traditional tool will be working in the farm. Whereas when we compare it with the seed drill, that is the modern utilization of the tool, it will be having a nice structure in the formation that it will be even covering the behind portion. When we are having this seed drills, it will be covering the portion where the seed is already being sown. In this traditional tool, what was the back look at this was that it was having the seeds open. Means what will happen? The birds will be feeding on them, but that was not to be required because farmers cannot run out for them also. So what the seed drill is doing now, it is beneficial for the farmers because it is covering the back portion when the seeds are being sown. So this is what the benefit we have. The second benefit for the seed drill we have is it consumes less of the time and it is very much usable. So this is the benefit for the seed drill when we are using instead of the traditional tool. Here we come with the next topic, that is adding manure and fertilizers. Now what is the requirement to add these things? If we want good cultivation of the crops in the field, we need to add something which is nutritious to it. Now let us see what are the types of the nutrients which we are going to add from outside. Yes, we have here two types, that is the manure and the fertilizers. Now what is the difference between these two things? Let's have a look at that. Manure means it is naturally available organic substance. Now how it is being prepared? It is prepared in the field itself. The farmers or even we can also prepare it at the home. What we have to do is dig a pit in the farm, apply all the waste materials from the home, that is from the kitchen, whatever the waste is coming from the kitchen, that we can have it. Means the peel of the vegetables, the peels of the fruits and the whatever the things we are using it in the vegetables and the fruits in the kitchen. Then we can have the wastage coming out from the animals, that is the dung cakes or their urines, or we can even have the dry leaves or the stems which are falling from the plants and the trees. So these things to be kept in the pit which we have dug in the farm. Apply the soil on it for some days, leave it as it is. After few days you will find that there is no residues present what you have applied to it. Means there will be no peel seam to you, there will be conversion of these things into the soil because they have started converting in the soil itself. Now this portion will be known as the manure, which you can also prepare at the home in the small quantity. Now this being organic matter, it will be utilized in the farms with free of cost because we can prepare it at the farms without using anything from outside. The second thing, that prepared in the field. Now the method I have told you people how to prepare it in the field. The second thing, that provide a lot of humus to the soil. As we know that whatever the things which are available from the nature will be providing the good things to the field. Now in the same way, if we are having the manure in the farms, we will be having a lot of humus in the soil also, because this humus is required by the roots to just keep in the balance, because the roots will be penetrating deep into the soil and they will be holding the soil so that they will not come out, whether it is a flood or the huge number of the storms coming. So for that reason we need to have the lot of humus to be provided to the crops in the soil. The next thing that comes is they will be less rich in the plant nutrients. Yes, here that comes the drawback of the manure as comparison to the fertilizers. Now what are these things? They will be rich less in the plant's nutrients, means they will not be applying or giving the particular nutrient which is required by a particular plant, but they will be possessing some of the nutrients but not at high level. Now here comes the second portion, that is the fertilizers. Now what are the fertilizers? In comparison to the manure, we know that it is man-made. Now man-made means it is completely made by the human beings and it is not using anything which is natural. So what will be, it is called as non-organic. This one is the organic because it can be made with the peels of the fruits and vegetables which are available from the home. The things which are decomposed, which are able to biodegrade, they will be utilized over here. Whereas in the fertilizers, there will be completely opposite things, means it is completely made with by the man only, and that is to be made in the factories because we cannot prepare it in the natural way. So these are being prepared in the factories, means they will be using completely the chemicals over there, nothing which is organic to be utilized in this portion. The next thing that comes, it do not provide the humus to the soil. Now here is the drawback of the fertilizers. They do not provide the humus at all to the soil. Now this is what the thing comes to. But the farmers who are growing the crops will be looking for the profit only, not for the drawbacks which are coming by the fertilizers. Now as we can see here, we have a lot of profit from the fertilizers because as it is coming from the market, it will be having a unique nutrient present in it which is required for my crop which I have grown in the field. For example, I have grown groundnut in my field. I need just a nitrogen in that. So what will I do? I will just go to the market and purchase a fertilizer which is rich in the nitrogen. So it will be providing me good product and good cultivation of the cropping. So this is what my profit is. So I will be using fertilizers as compared to the manure. Manures I know that I can prepare at the home also, I can prepare at my field also. But if I want profit in my cropping, which is the first requirement of the farmer, for what they are growing the crops is the profit only. For that they will be utilizing the fertilizers as compared to the manure. Now the point that is rich in NPK, means they are rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Means they are uniquely present in each of the fertilizers, different nutrients according to the crops. So the crops are having the cultivation with the fertilizers by different names. Different names are allowed to have the fertilizations for the different types of the crops. For different crops we need a particular fertilizer, but for what about the manure? Manure can be applied to any type of the crops. It is not banned to one of the other crop, but for fertilizers it is not so. Now here comes the another method by which we can, if we are not wanted to just supply these manure and fertilizers to our plants, what is the other method to replenish the nutrients in the farms? Now there is a crop rotation process. What is this crop rotation? The name itself says that it is the rotation of the crops going on in the farm. Now what is this process called? What will happen if I grow groundnut continuously in my farm for every season? There will be the less fertilities of the groundnut when the second session is there. Now for that enrichment of the groundnut, I need to have something in the field or in the soil so that it will be giving rich nutrients or cultivation to me in the cropping. For that purpose, if I am not adding this manure or fertilizers in the farms, instead of that I can do the crop rotation. Now suppose I have grown groundnut in one season, the other season I will be cultivating with the wheat or the corn, you can say. Now these things will be replenishing the nutrients in the soil in the natural method. So I will not even have to add any of the fertilizers or manure in that. So for sowing the crops in different seasons with different plants, we can say it as a crop rotation, which will replenish the nutrients in the natural manner. Now here is a video which is showing the activity in which you can have the differences between the utilization of the manure and fertilizers. Now fertilizers will be added to one of the pot, and there will be addition of the manure in one of the glass, and then there will be addition of the only soil and seed in one of the glass. So after this experiment, what you will find is, you will find that the development of the crops will be more better in the fertilizers as compared to the manure or not applying anything in the glass. Okay, so let's have the video to see this activity.